A Christmas work celebration gets a little out of hand in an effort to save a company. But hey, all in good fun, right? And that's why today in Flick Summary, Office Christmas Party. Meet Josh, a Chicago CDO of a tech company called Xenotech, who has just finalized his divorce, given up his house and added an alimony in order to get it done, just in time for the holidays, huh? At this job, Josh supervises over Tracy Hughes, the head of tech, who is currently working on a secret project that could potentially blow everyone's minds, but we'll get to that in a second. Oh, and there's some real palpable tension between Josh and Tracy, even spoiling who they got for Secret Santa at the workplace. Spoiler alert, it's each other.
I got you for Secret Santa again.
I know. I got you too.
Not even 10 minutes into the movie and they should already get a room with that tension. Jeez.
Whoa, mama! Get a room, you two!
Newly broke but with a rather fancy salary, Josh works alongside his buddy Clay, the Chicago branch manager of Xenotech, therefore his boss. Josh accompanies Clay to do some Christmas shopping for the office and get preparations ready for the annual holiday party the company hosts every year for their employees. As they walk from shop to shop, they discuss pressing matters such as bridges and the Fast Furious movie franchise.
And you know, I've only ever seen the first film, so...
Are you serious? They only get more fast, more furious.
Ah yes, pressing matters indeed.
It matters to me.
We cut back to the office as Jennifer Aniston, otherwise known as Carol, arrives at the building, scaring everyone with each and every step she takes. Not too long after, Clay and Josh get back to work and encounter terrified employees, immediately spotting the intimidating Carol, who just so happens to be Clay's sister, as she holds a meeting in a conference room.
There she is, my sister from another mister. I'm kidding. Our mother didn't start having affairs until the mid-90s. What are you doing?
Getting a little personal there, aren't we, Clay? Anyway, as it turns out, the siblings have recently lost their father, the former CEO of the company, leading Carol to earn the position of interim CEO, a title she uses to rain terror on whoever crosses her. Not only that, but she has closed down company branches every which way and would not even bat an eyelash in doing the same to her brother. The intimidating sister finds out about the Christmas party and decides to ask him about it.
You're having a Christmas party tonight?
Oh, it's not a Christmas party. It's a non-denominational holiday mixer. More inclusive.
She then scolds Clay for organizing a party when the branch didn't even hit the intended growth goal, forcing him to cancel it. Sort of.
All right, it's canceled.
Given that the Chicago branch did not hit a 7% growth during the fall quarter, Carol threatens Josh and Clay, telling them that she will shut the branch down if they don't do budget cuts and sack a whooping 40% of the staff. In an attempt to dissuade her, Tracy announces the project she's been working on, an internet that connects to any power source, or something like that, but Carol doesn't find it realistic. Josh and Clay manage to convince her not to do such drastic budget cuts when they promise to land a deal with a financial giant named Walter Davis, but they have to land it within the next 24 hours.
Failure is not an option.
Confident and sure of himself, Clay challenges Carol, telling her that she will look stupid when she finds that they landed the deal within that short window of time.
You're gonna look so stupid.
Then we'll finally have something in common.
Josh, Clay, and Tracy then schedule an emergency meeting with Walter Davis, hoping to land a deal with him as fast as humanly possible. However, he rejects their proposition, stating that they don't have any culture within their premises and constantly threaten employees with budget cuts and staff reductions, which was exactly what Carol was doing. Is he a psychic? In order to turn his mind around, they make the bold decision of inviting him to their Christmas office party that very same night, as they hope to prove they're not the boring, uncaring company he thinks they are.
Walter, we have one more pitch for you.
Do you party?
I used to.
Walter agrees to attend, and for once, everything appears to go according to plan. Later on, back in Josh's apartment, he receives a surprise visit from none other than the Wicked Witch of the West herself, Carol. Certain that she will close the Chicago branch eventually, she offers Josh a position in New York, a much more secure, with double the pay that will grant him the financial stability that Chicago will not. Josh claims that he is happy where he is, but Carol doesn't particularly buy into it.
I don't see happy. I see crappy.
Josh doesn't necessarily refuse her offer, but he most certainly doesn't agree to it either, as Carol tells him to think about it before she finally leaves his apartment.
God, I hate her, Ross. I hate her.
Evening finally rolls around and it's officially party time, with Clay dressing up as Santa, tapping a bunch of bills underneath his clothes for some reason, and going as overboard as humanly possible in hopes of getting Walter Davis to join the team. As this is happening, one of the company's employees, Nate, has been lying about having a girlfriend, which leads him to hire an escort to join him in the party. Once he picks her up, she pays her a lunatic pimp and walks away absolutely terrified, which, I mean, I would be too after that encounter.
Yeah, we're not friends.
Oh my god.
So if you're thinking of with me or with my girl, don't.
Walter arrives at the party but isn't loving the whole over-the-top situation the company has going on for themselves. Well, Walter, make up your mind. Do you want culture or not?
What do you want? What do you want?
Anyway, as all sorts of inappropriate things take place, Clay and Josh convince Walter to stay just a little while longer, and he'll see that they truly treat their employees like family. A real effed up family, if you ask me. Seriously, this is the Project X of office Christmas parties. You see, one of the party's decorations was a snow thrower type thing, and Nate's escort decided to put a snow-like substance along with that, which for some reason landed right on Walter's face. Of course, he doesn't realize it's Coca-Cola that's sitting on his face.
If you catch my drift.
Almost immediately, Walter is in the mood for partying and getting drunk. Clearly not in the right state of mind, but Clay joins him anyway. They almost aggressively party, and again, let's remember that this isn't too far off from Project X. Meanwhile, Josh and Tracy have headed to the rooftop searching for a quiet place so they can talk without all the noise going around. Yeah, sure thing, man. We all know that move. They discuss about how they could have been together at one point, but Josh was not emotionally available. Bummer for Josh, huh? They get close to kissing, but are interrupted by an employee that decided to pee right on the rooftop. How charming. But at least we know they have feelings for one another. Surprise, surprise!
You didn't see that coming.
Back to the party, Carol encounters the completely destroyed scene and an office that will require some serious remodeling. She's prepared to go ballistic on Josh and Clay, but upon hearing the news that they managed to close on Walter Davis, she's surprised, but a little more calm. That calmness would certainly not last too long though, as Walter, still drunk and high off his mind, shouts from the top of his lungs his desire to work alongside Xenotech. Sounds good, right? Not really. He recalls a conversation he had with Clay about taking risks, and just as he declares himself a partner of the company, he takes a rather extreme risk.
The king of IT buyers!
As you may have expected, he doesn't take the fall all too well and is sent to the hospital right after, completely beaten and broken from said risk. With such a major accident in their hands, Carol tells Clay she will be terminating the branch and will be taking Josh to New York with her. Josh then reminds her that he didn't accept the job, which is true, but Carol then tells him that he didn't exactly reject it either, leading Clay and Tracy to feel hurt and betrayed by their co-worker and friend.
God, I hate her, Ross. I hate her.
As they should. Clay then leaves the party and continues to get drunk as he encounters the insane pimp from earlier, giving Nate some trouble. She eventually leaves Nate alone when the escort tells her boss that Clay has a lot more money than the other guy and should try getting his cash instead. They invite Clay to party, who gladly agrees as he falls right into their trap. Concerned about his well-being, Josh tells his Tech Eye employees to hack into Clay's phone and find out his location as soon as possible. Finding that he is at some sort of private club, the girl from HR, Carol, Tracy, and Josh set on a quest to search for their unstable friend in a Santa costume.
Let's go get our Santa.
Back to Clay, the escorts, and their pimp, our broken friend vents all about the problems he faces for being the head of a company with a crazy pimp relating to his stories in her own strange manner. As he gets drunker and higher, the pimp tries to get a hold of his money, finding that it's on his personal safe, or at least that's what she understands. Meanwhile, his work buddies and sister attempt to rescue him from the evil claws of the pimp, facing some dangerous obstacles as they break into the private club Clay was at, beating anyone who attempts to stand in their way.
Hi, me again. Where's Santa?
Unfortunately for them, Clay was nowhere to be found. They leave the building and encounter an insane drunk driver along with two other girls, quickly identifying Clay as he drives the vehicle erratically. Once again, our heroes jump into a van in search of their friend as Josh deduces where he might be heading due to the bridges and Fast and Furious conversation they had early on in the film. Clay drunk drives his way and breaks virtually every traffic law there is as he nears a bridge that splits into two ways, completely terrifying the two girls riding in the car with him.
Oh, yeah! We go right through them. They're just suggestion.
Pretty sure red lights are not just a suggestion, pal. Josh quickly catches up to him as he speeds just to get close to him. He apologizes for even considering taking Carol's job and admits how even that alone could be a betrayal as a friend. He doesn't accept the apology and says he wants to attempt a Fast and Furious jump over the bridge. Carol and Josh try to convince him not to, but his mind is dead set on trying to make the jump.
Why are you the way that you are?
Clay finally starts hesitating when Josh tells him he will try to make the jump as well unless he stops.
Josh, what are you doing, man? You go, we all go!
Clay still isn't slowing down even as the pimp hold a gun to his head. Scared they might die, Carol steps in and swerves the car, saving herself, Tracy, Josh, and the lady from HR. Unfortunately though, Clay still decided to try the jump, which he didn't make. As soon as they land, the pimp searches for Clay's money, finding it taped all over his body, finally seeing that she misunderstood what he said when asked about the money. For some reason, she accidentally shoots herself and is instantly knocked out. Josh and Carol then rush to the rescue and take everyone to the ER, including the wounded pimp that surprisingly made it out okay. At the hospital, our heroes receive good news as they hear that Clay is alive and, well, in fact, the drop fixed a fracture he had from before, apparently, but he must remain in observation. While they wait for more updates, they discuss if they had any actual chance of making the jump, which Tracy thinks could have been possible but is rebutted when Carol explains everything they had against them. For some reason, Tracy finally understands what she's been doing wrong in her Tech Eye project we told you about earlier and asks Josh to accompany her back to the office. Carol stays behind and patiently waits for more news on her brother. Once Tracy and Josh make it back to the office, they find it absolutely trashed, but decide to fix the coding issue either way. As you may have expected, with just a few types and clicks, Tracy is able to get her program up and running and saves the company's future. They travel back to the hospital to pick up Clay and Carol and take them on a celebratory work breakfast as they tell them the good news. The doctor then tells them that given his high dosage medication, no alcohol whatsoever should be involved during the celebratory breakfast, with Carol promising that none of that substance will be involved. Kind of.
Doctor, I assure you, I am in charge. There will be no more partying.
I guess moral of the story is office Christmas parties can get a little dangerous. And that's all for today. Make sure to stay tuned as we'll be doing more Christmas movies for the whole month. In the meantime, let me know in the comments what you want for Christmas and I'll deliver it to you if you subscribe. Nah, just kidding. But subscribe anyways. Merry Christmas and see you next time!